Hey everyone, Josh Martinez here, and welcome to the how-to video on how to apply trend lines and counter trend lines in an uptrend. Let's go ahead and begin. So we're going to use the NASDAQ 100 on a 2-hour time frame, and this works. The process works on any ticker symbol and any time frame. The only thing that we really need is just Japanese candlestick charts. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to do our very best to walk you through the process. So we're using this replay section, so it's all hypothetical and it's all fake, but this is the process that we would look to apply. So when we take a look at the NASDAQ 100, one of the things that we have to understand what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to decide, is the market going up or is the market going down? And we're trying to utilize tools, utilize tools that can increase our belief process that we're actually going to win, we're actually going to be right, so that it can encourage us to take action and then ideally be right in the overall pattern. So how do we do this? Well, we're going to take a look at the current low, what we're dealing with, and then we're just going to draw a trend line going backwards. Now, the reason why we draw a trend line going backwards is because we care mostly about known levels of U-turn. We want to know, where does the market like to form lows and where does the market like to form highs, because that's usually the angle that's going to push the market up or push the market down. Now, for whatever reason, you can see that when or if the market comes near this blue level, the market has a history of going up. So there's a possibility that the market could bounce now. Now, you can see it started out being what's called resistance, and this resistance acted as support. So resistance is like a fancy word for like a future high. Support is a fancy word for a future low. Another way of remembering it is ceiling of resistance. You hit your head on the ceiling and then it pushes you back down, or floor of support, you bounce off support. So when we take a look at this scenario, you can notice how I extended the trend line right away. Well, this divides the market into what's called a buy zone and into a sell zone. Anything above this blue line is the buy zone, which we want to look to buy. Anything below is the sell zone, which you would anticipate the sellers take control. Now, there's two avenues. Avenue number one, you just simply buy the market now, and the market goes your way, right? Ideally, fingers crossed. The problem with buying the market now is you're guessing the U-turn, right? And I call this like the curse of knowledge, to where the market should go up because it U-turned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times prior, right? It should go up, but it doesn't have to go up. So what you could do is bring in what's called a counter trend line break. So you just bring in a line that counters the direction you think the market's going to go. So this purple line is pushing the market down. And what we will do is we'll just simply wait for the market to break and close above that counter trend line. And when or if the market closes above it, that is where we look to buy the market. And the reason why we do this is because we will make that financial bet that the buyers are in control, and that when we actually enter into the market buying, we want the market going our way right away. Now, you notice how this purple line is doing a good job pushing the market down. So we want a candlestick to close above it. Now, bingo, bango, right there. That's where the market closes above. So that is where we would look to buy the market long. And then we'll take a look at the previous low of U-turn and place our stop below there. Now, we don't really want to place our stop at the current candlestick wick low, because the market makes higher highs and higher lows, right? We want to look at the previous low, and arguably you can even do this previous low back here. But the main key, or the main takeaway, is put that stop in below the uptrend line, because that uptrend line U-turns the market. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to place your stop above that trend line, because if the market comes down and touches that trend line again, it's supposed to push the market up. And if your stop is in between there, you could just get stopped out for no reason. Now, for the buyers to maintain control, we want the market to take out a new high, right? So this is where the previous high. So for the buyers to maintain control, the market needs to rally up. So the bet is this. We bet that the market's going to bounce bullish off this uptrend line. We bet that it's going to go now because the buyers are taking control and broke above the counter trend line. And for us to lose, the structure has to fail and the market has to enter into the sell zone. And for us to win, the structure has to maintain and the buyers have to bring the market back up. Now, look how the market came down, retested that blue level, and then pushed bullish. That's very important to place our stop below that blue level. And as the market moves, it'll move in waves, making higher highs and higher lows. And we're looking for the market to bingo, bango, right there, take out that previous high. Now, arguably, if you wanted to close out early, you could. If you utilize another technique, arguably, you could have bought back into this counter trend line break. And arguably, if you bought this counter trend line break, you could have had a better experience with the market, went your way right away. Regardless, what we will do when using our hand-drawn trend lines is we have an underlying fundamental belief that the market U-turns at, on, and or around the same price point. So what we like to do is look at the previous low, draw our trend lines backwards, look for three or more touch points, at least three. We'll wait for that retracement. Ideally, 3 candlesticks of retracement, right? 3 bearish candlesticks in the uptrend. It doesn't have to be in a row, but we want 3. Bring in our counter trend line. We buy the market in the counter trend line break, and we bet the market will go away right away. We do this over and over and over again until we get stopped out or the market enters into the sell zone and we decide that structure has failed. And then from there, we can apply our downward trend lines. You can also apply this technique with another strategy. I like to use it with Fibonacci. So you use trend lines to determine direction, counter trend lines for entries, and then you can use Fibonacci's for stops or limits. But I'm sure you'll probably participate in upcoming live sessions. I'll show you how to do that firsthand. All right, everyone, that completes the how-to video, and we'll see you in the next one. My name is Josh Martinez. Appreciate the opportunity.